Hello, cuarto grado. Welcome to your English class. This is Miss Nancy. Hola, cuarto grado. Bienvenido a tu clase de inglés. Remember, we are going to work in our Abracadabra book number 4 and in our notebook. So, you must have those two things before we start this video, okay? Debes tener esas dos cosas listas antes de empezar la clase. Gracias a todos los que me mandaron sus buenos mensajes y deseos para que me recuperara porque estuve un poco enferma la semana pasada y por eso no tuvimos clase. But now I'm here and I'm ready, okay? So let's remember what we saw last week. Vamos a ver qué vimos la semana pasada, recordar un poquito porque es probable que se nos haya olvidado. We were talking about the vocabulary from unit number 1 and we were talking about different jobs. Do you remember? Okay? We were talking about a dancer, a doctor's office, the hospital, the mail carrier, the nurse, the painter, the police officer, the police station, and the studio, okay? And we were talking about the difference between she and he. She para las niñas y he para los niños, ¿ok? Esto ya lo tienes en tu cuaderno porque aquí está mi amigo SpongeBob SquarePants y ya lo anotamos. Pero ahora vamos a ver un tema diferente. It's there is and there are, ¿ok? I think we already saw that, sí. Ok, esto era lo que vimos la semana pasada. Ok, esto es un poco recordando lo que vimos la semana pasada. There is for singulars and there are for plurals. Do you remember? Is there and are there. These are the questions. Estas eran las preguntas. Y también vimos cómo se respondían. Si eran positivas, yes, there is. Y si eran negativas, no, there is not. Y lo mismo con el plural. Yes, there are, and no, there are not. Okay, do you remember? ¿Lo recuerdas? So, today we are going to see a new subject. Aquí está mi amigo Esponja, por lo que esto lo tenemos que copiar en el cuaderno, ¿ok? Era what y where. Esas dos palabras son dos preguntas que en inglés nos sirven para hacer preguntas acerca de dos cosas importantes. What for things and actions, para las cosas y las acciones, y where para los lugares, ¿ok? Entonces, por ejemplo, what is this? What is this? Ah, it's a cell phone, porque es una cosa, ¿ok? What is Miss Nancy doing? What is Miss Nancy doing? Ah, she's sleeping. Okay, esa es una acción. So, we are going to use what for actions and things. And we are going to use where for places. For example, where does the doctor work? ¿A dónde trabaja el doctor? Where does the doctor work? Ah, the doctor work in the hospital. O the doctor work in the doctor's office, ¿ok? Por ejemplo, where does the mail carrier work? Where does the mail carrier work? ¿A dónde trabaja el cartero? In the streets, en la calle, that's right. Where does the dancer work? Where does the dancer work? ¿A dónde trabaja la bailarina? In a studio, that's right. Okay, so remember you have to copy this on your notebook. Vamos a copiar esto en nuestro cuaderno. Y vamos a continuar. So, what and where? What is this? What is this? Ah, it's my friend SpongeBob. And what is he doing? ¿Qué está haciendo? What is he doing? Ah, he's making Krabby Patties. Cangreburgers se dice Krabby Patties, okay? What's he doing? What's he doing? He's making Krabby Patties. Where is SpongeBob? Where? ¿Está en su casa? Where? It's the crusty crab. Crustáceo cascarudo se dice crusty crab. Okay, let's see. What does he do? He's a cooker. Okay, he's cooking. Where does he work? At the Krusty Krab. Okay. Esto también lo copiamos en el cuaderno. Remember. Let's see another example. Oh. What? It's Thor, right? What does he do? He's a god. Es un dios. He's a god. What does he do? It's a god. Where does he work? ¿En dónde trabaja? Where does Thor work? He works at Asgard, en su país, Asgard. Okay. What? Para las cosas y las acciones. Where? Para los lugares. Okay. What does he do? He's a god. Where does he work? At Asgard. Super easy, right? Remember to copy these. Recuerda que tienes que copiar eso en tu cuaderno. So you can pause the video. Puedes darle pausa al video para copiarlo, ¿ok? Next one. Oh, what is she doing? What is she doing? What does she do? She's a doctor. ¿Te das cuenta que utilizamos he para Thor, but we use she for the doctor because she's a girl, okay? What does she do? She's a doctor. Where does she work? ¿A dónde? Where does she work? At the hospital, okay? Remember to copy this on your notebook. And one more. What does she do? What does she do? She's a mail carrier. Where? Where does he work? At the streets. Okay? What? For the things. Where? For the places. Okay? Remember to copy this. So, now we are going to move on to our page number 6 in our book. Let me show you is this. We are going to see this picture and then we are going to listen to track number 2. Okay, so let's see the picture. It's here. What is this? Okay, it's Paul. Y Paul está pensando en dos professions. ¿Ya lo vieron? He's thinking in painter and doctor. Okay. Luego we have Karen, and Karen is thinking in police officer and dancer. Then we have Marta, and Marta is thinking in mail carrier and police officer. That's right. There's Dina, and Dina is thinking in dancer and nurse. Then we have Pat, and Pat is thinking in painting or painter and police officer. And then we have Will, who's thinking in mail carrier and doctor. Lo que vamos a hacer es escuchar el audio y vamos a escuchar qué profesión es cada uno de nuestros personajes, ¿ok? Paul, Karen, Martha, Dina, Pat, and Will. Ellos nos van a decir, what does he do and where does he work, ¿ok? ¿Qué es lo que hacen y dónde trabajan? What does he do and where does he work? Vamos a escuchar el audio 2 veces y vamos a tachar, hacer así, a tachar la profesión que no es la de ellos, ¿ok? Aquí tenemos 2 profesiones por cada uno, pero ellos solo tienen una, ¿ok? Tachamos la que no es de ellos, la negativa, ¿ok? So we are going to listen to track number 2.
Track 2.
Welcome to my house. Please tell everyone your names.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm a painter.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm a dancer. Nice to meet you.
Where do you work, Karen?
I work in a studio, and you?
I work in a studio too.
Oh, hi. I'm Martha, and I'm a mail carrier, so I work in the street.
Nice to meet you, Martha. I'm Dina. I'm a nurse.
Do you work at the hospital?
No, I work at the doctor's office.
I'm Will. I'm a doctor. I work at the hospital, and I work at the doctor's office, too.
I'm Pat, and I'm a police officer. I work at the police station. It's nice to meet you all.
Ok, ¿lograste identificarlos todos? We are going to listen one more time and then we are going to listen to the working song, ok? Vamos a escuchar una vez más, luego the working song y luego vamos a ver la respuesta correcta, ok? Let's do.
Track 2.
Welcome to my house. Please tell everyone your names.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm a painter.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm a dancer. Nice to meet you.
Where do you work, Karen?
I work in a studio, and you?
I work in a studio too.
Oh, hi. I'm Martha, and I'm a mail carrier, so I work in the street.
Nice to meet you, Martha. I'm Dina. I'm a nurse.
Do you work at the hospital?
No, I work at the doctor's office.
I'm Will. I'm a doctor. I work at the hospital, and I work at the doctor's office, too.
I'm Pat, and I'm a police officer. I work at the police station. It's nice to meet you all.
Ok, so now we are going to listen to the working song para que termines de seleccionar los correctos. Finish. Now we are going to see, the correct answers. Veamos cuáles eran las respuestas correctas. Okay, so Paul, it's here. Marta is a mail carrier. Okay, and Dina is a nurse. Let's see what else. Paul is a painter. And Karen is a dancer. Pat is a police officer and Will is a doctor. Okay? ¿Las tuviste todas correctas? Let's move on to the next exercise. We're going to complete the answers. Tenemos esta parte de acá y vamos a completar las respuestas con cada uno de las profesiones de nuestros amigos. Okay, so what does Marta do? Marta is this girl in here. What does Marta do? What does he do? What does she do? She's a... I'm sorry. Wait a second. Okay. She's a... You're going to tell me aquí. ¿A qué se dedica Marta? Si no recuerdas cómo se escriben todas las profesiones, you can go to your page 94, te puedes ir a la página 94 y ver cómo se escriben los nombres correctos de las profesiones, ¿ok? So, we are going to complete this part. What does Dina do? What does Dina do? What does Pat do? What does Pat do? What does Karen do? What does Karen do? And what does Will do? What does Will do? Okay, so we're going to listen to the working song and then we are going to see the correct answers. I guess, por aquí no se ve Paul, pero tú tienes en el number 6, what does Paul do? Okay, so we're going to listen to the working song right now. Oh. Okay, are you ready? Veamos ahora sí las respuestas correctas. What does Marty do? She's a mail carrier. What does Dina do? She's a nurse. What does Pat do? She's a police officer. What does Karen do? She's a dancer. What does Will do? She's a doctor. And Paul is a painter. He's a painter. No sé, I don't know why you cannot see this part, but here he's a painter. Okay? So, let's move on to the next page. It's page number 7. Vamos a ir a la página número 7. And we are going to match the questions with the pictures. We are going to do this, okay? I don't know where is the correct answer. You are going to tell me. Vamos a hacer eso. Vamos a unir con una línea la respuesta correcta. Veamos entonces cuáles son las preguntas. Where, ¿qué dijimos que significaba esta palabra? ¿En dónde? Where does the doctor work? Where does the nurse work? Where does a mail carrier work? Where does a police officer work? Where does a dancer work? And where does a painter work? Okay. So, antes de realizar la actividad, we are going to repeat these questions, okay? Vamos a repetir juntos estas preguntas. Yo los digo una vez y en la segunda tú lo dices conmigo para que we can practice our speaking, okay? So, where does a doctor work? Where does the doctor work? Where does a nurse work? Where does a nurse work? Where does a mail carrier work? Where does a mail carrier work? Where does a police officer work? Where does a police officer work? Where does a dancer work? Where does a dancer work? Where does a painter work? Where does a painter work? Okay, so now it's time for you to work. Ahora es momento de que tú trabajes. We are going to listen to the working song. Okay, ready for the right answers? ¿Listo para las respuestas correctas? We are going to see. Number 1 is in the doctor's office. Where does the doctor work? In the doctor's office. Where does a nurse work? In the hospital. Where does a mail carrier work? In the streets. Where does a police officer work? In the police station. Where does a dancer work? And at a studio. And where does a painter work? At a studio too. ¿Las tenías todas correctas? Okay. So, it's time for homework, everyone. Es hora de la tarea y eso me recuerda a hacerles un anuncio y recordatorio especial. En la tarea pasada vi varios de sus fotografías en las que solo me mandaban las fotos del libro. Pero también necesito ver las fotos de sus cuadernos para ver que copian las tareas, ¿ok? Perdón, la clase, ¿ok? So, necesito las fotos de su cuaderno y las fotos del libro en la misma tarea para ver que han copiado la clase de este día. Algunos les puse en los comentarios que por favor me enviaran esas fotografías que me faltan, ¿ok? So, the class has finished 4th grade. We are going to see each other next class. Bye!